lightest. Okay, now if you think about what Bounty Hunter's done, he's fighting up at 212 pounds, and Usyk himself is fighting at about, I don't know, 206.
200 pounds, yeah.
So let's hope he's not weight drained in any sense. Taворис Клауд walking to the ring. Taворis Клауд won the world title, the IBF world title, in 2009, beating Clinton Woods on Satanta. And then, of course, please. And then, of course, he defended against Glenn Johnson, Vojenico, Zuniga, Yusuf Mack, Campillo, lost to Hopkins, and done by Stevenson. Didn't show up for the Stevenson fight. Just floated through 7 rounds, lost every single round, bit of a disappointment, and got pulled out by his corner. He's 32. This is a massive fight for him because he's got nowhere to go. But however, if he wins, he's back in the picture. Because I said to Stevie, there's always 12 fighters involved in world title fights, and there's always room for another genuine world-class fighter. And he is world-class. Beterbiev, Artur Beterbiev. Well, I like him. I've been a fan. Let's watch Beterbiev come to the ring. When you hear the commentary team, it's going to be former WBO super featherweight champion of the world, Barry Jones. It's going to be the main voice you're going to hear tonight on Box Nation is Andy Clark. Thanks for joining us here on Box Nation. This is the main event. Once again, we go through the night. This is the home, not just the championship boxing, but of all boxing. Take it away, boys.
Well, we've just seen Taворis Клауд come to the ring. It was actually a year ago this weekend that he had that fight with Adonisу Stivensonu. As you say, he was retired at the end of the 7th round. The fight before that was when he was relieved of his IBF title by Bernardu Hopkins. As I mentioned earlier on, he was supposed to be fighting Jean Pascal in this fight tonight. It was all agreed, it was all done, but Pascal then changed his mind, seemingly over a dispute over training expenses. And in his place, they had no hesitation whatsoever about pushing through Artur Beterbiev. That tells you everything about the confidence that Yvon Michel and GYM have in him. You've mentioned his amateur record. It was outstanding. Champion in 2009 at the World Championships. Could have been in 2007. A controversial loss in the final. Controversy in the Olympics as well, particularly in Beijing against Zhang Zhoping. Double European champion. But as you mentioned, if you're expected to see somebody get up on his toes, launch raiding missions, get in and out, then that's not what you'll get, because he holds his feet, stays in punching range, and throws punches heavy-handed with his left and his right hand. And Barry, I just mentioned the measure of confidence they've got in him, pushing him into the ring against Taворis Клауд. They feel that he is going places and he is going there quickly.
Seems to be a trend, isn't it, at the moment, with great amateurs just having world title fights or boxing world-class fighters so early in their careers. If you're good enough, no matter how many fights you have, you're ready, and they believe this guy's ready, but he isn't.
This championship
Frightening
is approved
prospect,
by
that's
la
for
Régie
sure.
des Alcools des Courses et des Jeux du Québec. Its president of Combat Sports Division, Michel Ablin.
Well, I know that GYM were absolutely delighted to get his signature. I spoke to Yvon Michel not that long ago. Don King, you cannot keep him away. He's got his hands on the world heavyweight crown again, of course, through Bermain Stiverne. But GYM attracted through the amateurs. They wanted to sign him, but didn't think they would, because offers came in from Sauer, came in from Top Rank, but his manager got in touch with them to see if they would like to sign him. He came over for a trial, and that was that. He's adjusted to life in Canada very, very well. A Muslim of Chechnyan descent, but did compete for Russia, as we know. Living in Canada now with his wife and 3 children, who settled with him in Laval. Trains with Aleida Alvarez, another light heavyweight. He's from Colombia. He's here tonight as well. Jean Pascal in the past. This remains to be seen, Barry, really, what Taворis Клауд has got left.
Could be just catching him at the right time.
And now, for those in attendance here at the Bell Center in Montreal, and for all boxing fans tuning in live on Shaw TV, are you ready for action? Groupe Yvon Michel and Interbox, in collaboration with Eye of the Tiger Management, bring you tonight's main event. 12 rounds of action.
Well, Beterbiev in these 5 victories has never been beyond 4 rounds. He's removed his opponents from the equation in ruthless fashion. He's had experience of big nights as well, fighting on undercards of Stevenson Dawson, Stevenson Bellew, Pascal Boutte.
He tipped the scale at 174 pounds.
Cloud, on the other hand, has been 12 rounds 5 times,
with a professional
winning
record standing
4.
at 24 victories, 19 coming by way of knockout.
Although he is
in
32,
bouts.
you couldn't exactly say that he's got all that many miles on the clock. 26 fights, 10 years as a professional, and there are those 2 defeats against Stevenson and against Hopkins. Hopkins, of course, up against Kovalev on November the 8th. You can see that one on Box Nation.
From Tallahassee, Florida, USA. He is the former IBF light heavyweight champion of the world.
But if he doesn't win tonight, Taворis Клауд, then really there is nowhere for him to go.
Son adversaire dans le coin rouge porte la culotte rouge et noire et pèse 174,6 livres. Across the ring, his opponent fights out of the red corner, wears red trunks with black trim. His official weight, 174.6 pounds. Il est invaincu en 5 combats avec 5 victoires, toutes par KO. He is undefeated in 5 professional bouts with a perfect 5 victories, all coming by way of knockout. Mesdames et messieurs, champion du monde amateur 2009, champion de la Coupe du Monde 2008.
It will be very interesting actually to see how he shapes up if he goes through a few rounds.
From Montreal, ladies and gentlemen,
because there were always question marks actually over his stamina when he was in the amateurs.
Artur Beterbiev.
The Bell Centre expect to see another star rise tonight, but in Taворis Клауд, he is in with a kind of opponent he has really never faced before. Jean-Pascal just making his way out of the ring there. I mentioned the disputes he's had, the problems he's had in recent times. Not really sure what will be next for him. He was hoping after he beat Boutte, I think, that he might get a fight with Stevenson, maybe Froch. I think he'd be fairly keen.
You men receive my instructions.
The winner of this.
Protect yourselves at all times. I want you to touch gloves now. Man, you're boxing at the bell. God bless you both. Touch gloves.
And Steve mentioned weight as well. This is the first time really that he's actually had to make that 175 limit. On debut, he was nearly 10 pounds heavier than that. Has weighed in generally at around 180 pounds in his fight so far.
Wait in your corner.
11 rounds to his name, and that is it. Into the first round we go. Gets a lot of power in short punches for Beterbiev.
Yeah, a lot like Kovalev, it's the timing, isn't it? That's what he turns from the waist, turns from the core. But they don't look like the fastest of punchers, but it's exceptionally good timing, so he always hits the target. But for Клауд, you got to give plenty of lateral movement. You're up against a rigid fighter here. You can punch, plenty of lateral movement, plenty of moving away from that right hand.
Heard the thud of the right glove into the body of Клауд there. As mentioned, he beat Sergei Kovalev twice in the amateurs. They were teammates, international teammates, trained, sparred together. Doesn't really allow himself to be drawn too much on the subject of those two battles, on the subject of Kovalev generally.
Just the physical presence of Beterbiev already, just being able to corner Клауд and know where to go.
Well, catches a left hand from Клауд there.
And again, Beterbiev throwing the right hand to the body, but Клауд countering with a left hook.
Trying to work his way in behind that jab.
hand over the top there from Beterbiev.
And just letting that left hand go, and then a right as well, and he's got Cloud trapped here, and Cloud is down onto a knee. 40 seconds left in the first round. Beterbiev ushered into a neutral corner. Good variety, good combination of punches, was wailing away with the left and then just snuck the right hand inside. 30 seconds left in the round. Can Beterbiev finish now? He's shown good finishing instincts in his career so far, and he could be about to get Cloud out of here in the very first round, and he goes down again. 20 seconds to go, on his back, looking straight at the referee. He's back onto his feet, getting those legs back underneath him, and by the time this count is finished, there'll be virtually no time left in the round, so he will make it to the end of the first round here, Taворis Клауд, but the nightmare experience he had here against Adonису Stivensonu is continuing against Beterbiev, and he's gone down at the end of the first round again. Right on the bell, he goes down to a knee, and the referee will count. You cannot be saved by the bell, of course, and he will rise, I'm sure of that, but he'll have to get back onto his stool and reassess here maybe, and see how much he wants this, see whether he wants to continue or not. His trainer in there is going to have a good chat with him, and that was explosive from Beterbiev, and he's taken everything away from Taворis Клауд.
That was frightening, wasn't it, from Beterbiev? Just cut the ring off, followed him round, just made his physical presence felt from Клауд. He wasn't boxing too bad, but they got in close. It was like they were like cuffing left hooks that hurt Клауд. That's the power that Beterbiev has, but it wasn't hurt Клауд, and there was no snap in the punch. Just the weight of the shot. That right hand hurt him there. But watch his little like inside cuffing shots there. This shot don't bother people, but Клауд struggling for that, didn't know where to go. He had to go to the floor because he's just dazed and confused.
As I said, they don't travel far, but there's so much purchase behind them. You look at the shape, you look at the physique. He's ripped to an absolute shred in there, and to be honest with you, he looks to me like a light heavyweight Gennady Golovkin. He's that kind of fighter. He stalks his prey, he cuts down the ring pretty well actually, and then he lets those punches go. And how has Клауд managed to recover? And that is an absolutely jolting left hand from Beterbiev. You can see the head snap back, and he starts to unload again here. And surely Клауд cannot last too much longer. He's trapped in the corner, taking punches. He's trying to throw back, but to no avail, and he goes down again. This time flat on his stomach, and really, does he want to take any more of this? The referee's continuing the count, and I think he may well have had enough. I think he's going to sit this one out. And Taворis Клауд is down and out. Artur Beterbiev has got his 6th professional win. This one, though, is not against a journeyman. This is against a man who's been challenging for world titles in recent times. It took 7 rounds for Adonису Stivensону to get Клауд out of there in this very ring a year ago. It has taken Artur Beterbiev less than 4 minutes. Astonishing, Barry.
That was frightening. I remember when we seen Kovalev, the way he handled Nathan cleverly, and we went, whoa, that's the most frightening thing I've seen. Chilling, clinical. And this Claude might not be as good as maybe cleverly, but you know, the same sort of level. That was tremendous, really was. This is a guy who's a world-class athlete. He literally was a world champion like last year, and all of a sudden, he got nowhere to go. He blasted him out in 2 rounds, and with ease. Literally with ease. And Claude was trying to fight back, but I think that was his undoing, really, trying to fight back, leaving gaps then for Beterbiev, who just walked through him like a train. And no, to step up at world level, your 6th fight, to fight a former world champion, a world-class fighter in your 6th fight. And all I'm thinking is, why did he wait so long? He could have done that, and he could have boxed him in his 2nd fight, you would have thought. He's tremendous. And what a division this heavyweight division is at the moment. Which all of a sudden they're just monsters, aren't they?
Well, Jean-Pascal was up in the ring congratulating him. Maybe that's a fight he could want. Jean-Pascal does not duck fighters. Bute's ringside. Will Lucien Bute fancy a piece of Artur Beterbiev? I wouldn't if I were him. I really wouldn't. Stevensson is awaiting a next opponent. They're stablemates, of course. You can't see that happening. Kovalev, as we know, fights Hopkins on November 8th, but he is catapulted immediately right into that mix now. There is no need to hang around and wait any longer, because what are you going to wait for?
Well, maybe he can be outboxed, maybe, But if he's knocking everyone out, you never know, do you? So, you know, he's just, whether he can or whether he can't, there's no one's given the opportunity. He just has tremendous power. Again, like I said, similar to Kovalev, that good timing. They just slide in the distance. They don't give you no space. They cut the ring off very effectively, but effortlessly as well. So they don't lose any, they don't waste any more energy than they need to. And when he let his hands go, he was frightening, really frightening. And you wouldn't be worried about chucking him in with any of the world champions right now.
Another man who's back soon as well is Chad Dawson. He did have a fight, of course, in the undercard of Lomachenko, Gary Russell, the first round win, but he fights Tommy Karpensi at Foxwood next Saturday. He's another name to throw back into the mix. But people like to describe fighters sometimes as wrecking machines, and Artur Beterbiev is a wrecking machine. He is a Russian wrecking machine. We've just seen evidence of it there. And people will discuss, of course, how much Cloud had left in that fight, how damaged he was by the defeats to Hopkins and to Stevenson, but you cannot do better than that.
No, that's right. He could have called Cloud at the right time, lacking the confidence, but you wouldn't complain about Cloud fighting for the world title right now. If Cloud was fighting for the world title, you wouldn't complain.
Le champion de ce combat,
Beterbiev just took him to pieces.
Par KO à 38 secondes du deuxième round, et nouveau champion NABA des mi-lourds. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this bout by knockout at 38 seconds of the second round, and new NABA light heavyweight champion, Artur Beterbiev.
Well, it was a stunningly impressive performance, and let's just play matchmaker here briefly, Barry. We know that Kovalev and Hopkins are getting it on in the 8th for the WBA, the IBF and the WBO. Don't really know what is next for Adonis Stevenson. Maybe he wasn't all that impressive against Andrzej Fonfara. We thought that that fight with Kovalev was set earlier in the year, and then things have changed and made that one difficult. Pascal, Bute, both Canadian names. It'd be an all-Canadian fight again, if you like. Could you see it happening with one of those two?
I wouldn't want any part of this fella, not at all. It will happen. Listen, you would expect it to be one of the Canadian fighters, you would think, and then, or like maybe in a world title eliminator against Pascal, you would guess. That would be a good fight. That would sell quite well, you would think. He's in the background right now in the photographs. I know they're in the same sort of camp, but that can be easily that can change in an instant. You know what boxing's like, Andy. And Jürgen Bremer, you're another world champion of another WBA world champion. There's a fight there. But why would you want to fight this guy anyway? You'd love to see him with Kovalev. That's the fight you'd love to see. Former amateur rivals and friends and rivals box each other as professionals for the world title. Very similar styles. That's a fight that I would love to see.
Well, it's been a red dawn at the Bell Centre. What did you make of that, fellas?